Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. I'm live. I'm live. It says I'm live on the screen this morning. And this is your pre-show. Here we get ready to go. Let it rip, potato chip. It's on like Donkey Kong. Today, I'm going to talk to you about right now. I'm going to talk to you about you know it, you got it. Pick a damn side. We can't go through life not picking a side. And I got to tell you, some of the disturbing things that happened to me this week, I'm going to show you a video. I'm going to talk to you about what God has got to say about that in our personal growth, our spiritual growth, and our profitable growth. So let's get it on.
Preview. Todd is not only a remarkable, successful 30-year titan in business with having multiple businesses that generate multiplied millions of dollars.
And if that plan happens to be to build $1 million company, which I can help you do.
But he's humble. He's a man of God. He's a family man.
The world's news organizations are built on everything but positivity.
He is an influential entrepreneur and business speaker for over 30 years.
I've got to forecast. I've got to pronounce. I've got to project. I've got to share with you my ideas, my vision, my goals for not only myself, but for you.
That's why he's came up with his incredible concept of taking and creating a platform for people that are wired differently.
And you got to understand that your habits of your person and your habits of your business and your habits of your spirituality have to lead to the North Star of who you are. We need to figure out who we want to be in life.
Morning, we did it. We did it. I just love the intro. I love this morning. I got to tell you, I know I bring a lot of energy early in the morning, but you all know the story. I get up at 4 a.m. and I'm hitting it. I literally sometimes wake up at 3:30 and I'm like, what am I got spinning around in my head? And I got these topics I want to talk about. And I'm there we go. Get it on like Donkey Kong. I'm like, why am I not sounding? Maybe the yelling at the beginning was a little better that way. But I was just like, this particular morning, it was 3:50 or something like that. And I was wrestling. I'm like, oh man, these topics keep coming to my head. And I think you need to know, I was telling my wife kind of how I do this. And we were driving back in the Jeep of the Tom's Donuts, the donut capital of the world, the Jeep. And she said, what do you got going? I said, well, tonight let's eat, we eat meat and we do the whole meato, she doesn't call it meato, but whatever. Well, we only eat meat, salt, and water. We're doing a little vegetables now. But long story short, so we're planning our dinner. And she says, what do you got for tomorrow's show? And I said, did you listen to today's? She goes, yeah, I was up early and I listened to it. And I'm like, man, that supercharged me. It supercharged me that she was listening and she had some comments. She says, well, how do you do that? And I said, well, what do you mean, how do I do it? She goes, well, every morning you have something. I said, yeah, I have something. She goes, well, what's your routine? And I said, well, my routine, you know, I get up early and I get scripture from the Bible app. She says, well, why do you wait for the scripture from the Bible app in the morning? Because if I take the Bible app scripture for the day that we're in, then that means that's what the day that we're in, and I can prepare for what the day that we're in is for tomorrow. And I don't believe what God has delivered me through this app is for tomorrow, was for what he's called me to talk to you for today. And so when I get up in the morning, I only can really take what God has given me for today. And I feel that's just kind of my thing, right? She goes, well, so you prepare cold? I said, well, I have topics that I think of through the week that I think will hit, but I always start with the Bible app and the topic. And so today's Bible app was Psalms 55:22. I wrote it up here. Cast thy burden upon the Lord, and he shall sustain thee. He shall never suffer the righteous to be moved. So I basically put Psalms 50. That's the New Kings. Psalms 55:22. Cast your burdens to the Lord. He will cover them. He will then support your righteousness in his sight. So that's the verse we have today. And what I had mulling in my head this morning at 3:50, I should say, was pick a damn side. And it just kept coming to me, pick a damn side. So I don't really know what God's got until the Bible app opens up around 4:30. And then I have this idea or this thought of pick a side. And so this morning I put out the topic, pick a side. And I put, there's a picture of me and a bunch of kids that I was speaking to. And we ended up talking about picking a side. And so I'm going to try and do something while I'm on the fly here, because I wanted to load some of this stuff for you so you can see everything that we got going on. And I got so enthralled with the video that I loaded for everybody. I was visceral over this video that I wanted to put in play for you guys. And so I've got the video queued up. I got lots of stuff ready to go. I've got a lot of things going on this weekend. So I want to kind of go over with you tomorrow morning before we get on the verse 55:22. Cast your burdens upon the Lord. Literally throw them, heave them. We're going to talk about that. But here's what we got going on. November 13th, I am at the Cigar Club in Sarasota, Florida, doing a book reveal, a signing with my friend and my ambassador to America, Sebastian Gorka. I got people flipping stuff to me. Hey, my family, for some reason, my notification's going and you guys are ringing it up and annoying everybody on a live show. So stop it. I got to text them. I turn the notifications off, Chad, and here they go. Ding, 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 ding. Now, the risk of doing this is if I tell them to stop doing texting. You're interrupting. My live. Now watch, they'll probably send more. So anyways, so Sebastian Gorka and me in Sarasota, the Corona Cigar Club in Sarasota on the 14th. I think it's the 14th. It's going to be amazing. I'm so excited about that. But on the 13th, the day before that, I'm going to be in Tampa with Dennis Prager, Mike Gallagher. I'm going to be in there with who's the other? Yeah, Sebastian Gorka. It's going to be the three of us, the four horsemen, and I'm super stoked about that. So that's for the 13th and the 14th. Now listen, the Tiki Hut is the 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th, and literally we signed up 4 more people for the Tiki Hut yesterday. So get to the Tiki Hut. We just want you there. I think your life is going to be improved. A lot of things are going to be changed because we're going to grow you spiritually, personally, and we're going to grow you profitably. I'm going to be teaching 4 hours on Thursday, 4 hours on Friday. And if you can't get there in person, we're going to be simulcasting it in a virtual. So there's no reason you can't get the teaching at no cost from me, whether it's in person and excursions on Egg My Key, visiting my house, my family, going out on our express yacht, having the acre on the water at my house. I mean, I can't wait to break bread with you. Get there, be with me. We're going to fellowship. We're going to mastermind. We're going to pray. We're going to have all kinds of fun there. Listen, it's not too late. It's 8, 9, 10, and 11. Listen, all you got to do is ding me, ring me up, get to Abby, and we'll find a way to get you there. Now, I know, Abby, you're looking at me right now and you're cringing because we'll find a way. We will find a way. This is too good to miss. It's too good to have you say, like, I don't have a reason, right? It's too good. I'm making it too easy, too good, too possible. I want you there, virtually or personally. So let's get it on, Donnie Cohen. Now, listen, what else we got going? Tomorrow morning is my good friend Roman Gabriel. He played in the NFL. He was a quarterback. His father was an amazing quarterback. And I got to tell you, I'm part of a board with him. SoldOutTV.com. Go out there, Google SoldOutTV.com. We are spreading across America a CRM process for children, parents, and school systems to stop drug abuse, particularly fentanyl. This is an amazing, amazing tool that my Wired Differently company is going to be out there selling and promoting. I'm part of the board. I'm going to be out there on Super Bowl on February to watch the Detroit Lions win the Super Bowl. Now, I know a lot of you think I'm cray-cray, but I'm not. I'm just cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs because I know the Detroit Lions do it, but I digress. So listen, this morning, I know I'm out of control, but I'm excited. And so I was telling my wife, so this is how I create the program. This is how I put it together. And the topic today is pick a side. Originally, when I put it out there, it was pick a damn side. And I thought, no, I'll just say it on the live. Pick a damn side. And when I started reading Psalms 55:22, I started to think, cast thy burden upon the Lord, and he shall sustain thee. He shall never suffer the righteousness to be moved. And so as I looked through that, I started thinking about, well, Psalms, who wrote Psalms? I just want to give you a little background on Psalms. Psalms was wrote by a lot of dudes, right? I don't think there was any ladies writing the Psalms. They were all dudes. And the people that were in that category of the mix, King David wrote most of Psalms. But Adam was on the hit list there. Melchizedek, which is one of my all-time favorite all-star characters of the Bible, people of the Bible. He was the precursor to Jesus. He was running around, the Messiah's coming, the Messiah's coming, get ready. Jesus is coming, the Messiah's coming. He's going to be born to a Virgin Mary. He was running out before Baptist John and doing the all that stuff. He was an amazing dude. Yet Abraham, father of everybody, Moses parted the Red Sea with the Cain. What a big deal. Hermain, I'm not so sure about Judithan and Aspeth and the three sons of Korah, but some big time all stars, all pro, all Americans were writing the book of Psalms. David wrote this particular verse. Cast thy burden upon the Lord, and he shall sustain thee. He shall never suffer the righteousness to be moved. So what I want you to understand is when God says cast, right, your burden, when we believe in God, and I'm going to play a video here with Bill Maher any second here, because this is what's really got me. I got to tell you, I'm a little rattled this morning. I'm a little rattled. And it's because I started reading, and actually I turned on the Fox last night. Haven't been doing it in a while, and got caught up on Mike Johnson. And finally got a Speaker of the House, and we're moving in the right direction. And I just started thinking about like this verse this morning after watching that last night, and I'm thinking, cast thy burden upon the Lord. And how does that fit with pick a side? And it's very clear when I read it in King James Version that if God's wanting us to cast our burdens, right? So in our business life, in our personal life, in our spiritual life, we got to understand that we're doing all these things together, right? And so the spiritual life is telling us to cast our burdens to God, right? And our business life is asking us to cast our burdens to God. You know, it's not any different. They're not mutually exclusive. They are connected to each other. Like I don't believe you're going to be successful in your business and in the kingdom life that God has chosen for us if you don't include God in your business and in your personal life. And so this is why I'm a functional coach, because I want you to grow personally, spiritually, and profitably. All these things come together. So when it says cast your burden, cast your fears, throw it, like he didn't say just place it. He said cast it. I mean, that's heave it. Have you ever been have you ever had a fishing pole? And you got a little bobber and you got a weight on the end of it, and you want to get it out somewhere around the pond area or the ocean area or the creek area, and you want to get away from the dock as far as you can, right? You want to get out where the fish are, where they're not getting scared, right? You want to literally find that perfect spot to cast that bait, to cast that lure, to cast that beetle spin, right? That, you know, that heavy, bulky lure that you're going to throw out there, man. You want to get it out there almost as far as you can. That's casting. I mean, that's not like dropping. God really wants you to heave those burdens as far away from you as you can, and he wants to catch them. And so we understand that piece. But I think the piece I want to triangulate this morning, I'm going to play this video with Bill Maher, and I'm just going to tell you that we're in an epic war right now. And it's not enough just to cast our burdens out there. It's enough to hear God say that once we cast our burdens out there, that he says, he commits that he shall never suffer the righteous to be moved. It's like, okay, I'm going to throw the cast out there. I'm going to get rid of all these burdens. I'm just heaving them. Think about that kid. Think about yourself just heaving it. It's gone, right? And now that it's gone, you're standing on the side of the creek or the bed or the ocean or wherever you are. You heaved it out there. The burden is gone. You throw it with every might you have. You got the perfect spot. It's away from you. Right? 30 yards. I don't know how far you could cast, but I mean, if I have the right lure and the right bait and the right weight, I could probably cast it 100 yards. 100 yards. But I'm so far away from it, I need to understand that what that means is that he shall never suffer the righteous to be moved. Meaning that if we cast our burdens away from him and we pick a side of the righteous, we will not have to be moved. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. This is what I want to triangulate with what God's verse is to me for today and what the business lesson is, because I am your functional coach. I want you to triangulate business, personal, and spiritual growth. I love you that much. And so what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to tee this up. We're 15 minutes into this show, and the reason I just want you to buckle up for this video, because I'm disturbed by it. And the story behind the video is, I was watching Speaker Mike Johnson's, and they were talking about what a good Christian man he was on the Fox and some other places, and how he stood his ground, and how President Biden wants another $14 billion to go to Israel, which is not a bad request. Come on now, somebody, we got to do something with them over there. Not a problem. But when Mike Johnson got the order from the president to give him $14 million, Mike Johnson, the new Speaker of the House, says, yes, sir, I will get you that $14 million. He knows he works for the president of the United States. He's a good man, but he has picked a side, right? What side has he picked? And he didn't pick the Republican side. He didn't pick the liberal side. He didn't pick the conservative side. He picked God's side. And he said, Mr. President, here you go. I've got $14 billion for the Israel people. I want you to get it over there to Israel. I want you to get them to fight these bad guys. I want you to take those Islam people out, whatever we got to do to get them to stop murdering and coming after Americans. Here's your $14 billion, Mr. President. Thank you very much. He hands $14 billion to the president. He says, there's only one caveat. We can't get around enough. We don't have $14 billion lying around. So you gave $80 billion to the tax department to go out and get money from people and carry guns and do whatever they were going to do. Who knows what they were going to do? $80 billion. And Mike Johnson says, listen, I just got to move some money around. So I'm going to take $14 billion from this $80 billion that you're not even using. It's like sitting in a savings account, which we don't really have, and nobody's using it over the next 10 years. He says, look, we're just going to peel off a meager $14 billion out of this $80 billion, and we're going to give it to the Jewish people, and we're going to protect them, and we're going to be moving on down the road and doing the right thing. Yes, sir, I did what you asked. And do you think the president gave him a thank you? No, he gave me a kiss my ass, right? He said, no, that's not good enough. You can't take money from the IRS. And then all of a sudden, all the other Democrats, I'm getting a little political right here because it doesn't make any sense to me. No damn sense whatsoever that if we got $80 billion sitting around over here that we don't even need to spend on the IRS to go after and chase everybody, hunt them down. I mean, come on now, somebody, what's going on with that? Let's take a meager $14 billion, which is not meager to me in any stretch of the imagination, but let's take a meager $14 billion and take it over and give it to Israel. We've given one quadzillion to wherever that other place is over there that we're fighting, right? It's crazy. And so what's happened is the left has decided to throw their arms up and call this Mike Johnson all kinds of names, evil names. But they're not calling his political opponents names or the political piece of him names. They've decided to pick on his faith. They've decided to pick on his beliefs. They've decided to pick on his side, which we've established is not Dem or Republican, but God. And so I want to encourage you to understand, what is your side? What is the side you're going to pick? Because if you don't pick a side will pick you. And that's just the way it is. You know, you have to fight a fight at one point in your life, and you can't just be in the middle of the road or you're going to get trampled. Here's the video. We're going to talk about this, why it's so important to pick a side. And I want you to know how important it is for you to
I know why you're happy today. The Republicans finally found someone who fits the glass slipper for Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson. Exactly what I thought. Mike Johnson. Never heard of him, but he is, oh boy, do I like this guy. Super duper uber Christian. I mean, super Christy, and probably the worst of the election deniers. So the Republicans have really found their sweet spot. Loves Jesus, hates democracy. And I gotta say, this guy owns it. Because we're just getting to know him, so he's on the shows, and they're asking him about him. He said today, or maybe yesterday, he said, pick up a Bible off the shelf. I didn't have one, but I get that. And read it. That's my worldview. That's what he's saying. Talk to the hand, the one with the nail in it. Mike, he's in a covenant marriage. I didn't even know what this was. Have you heard of this? It's a thing in Louisiana where he's from. I guess other places. A covenant marriage, like marriage isn't hard enough to get out of. Seriously, this is a covenant marriage. Makes it very, very, very hard to get divorced. It's for people who hear "until death do you part" and say, "I need something stronger." And do you like pro-life? Wow. This guy, he says life begins at insurrection. Wow. And he absolutely hates gay sex, especially when he's having it. Well, you know these guys are always... No, he wants to actually criminalize gay sex because it makes it hotter.
I don't hear words, but I'm going to find some. I do this show because I love it. I literally get jacked up every morning. Me and my wife's like, go get it. What are you going to talk about? I don't know. I'm going to do the Bible app. I'm going to triangulate it with the topic I have in my head, which is pick a damn side. And then the verse comes out, Psalms 55:22. I don't think it's a coincidence at all. I think God said, okay, I gave you this gift. Go out there and share it with people. Talk to it with people. Raise your children. I'm going to give you a beautiful family. But Todd, you have to pick a side. Kara and Kendra and Courtney and Olivia, they need to know there's only one side, and it's me. Todd, you need to tell them. Because the world doesn't understand what a misfit is. And Todd, you're a misfit. You have big dreams, you have big ideas, and you're not afraid to go out there and say some things. But I need you to put me first, Todd. Yes, sir. Yes, God. And I need you not to be afraid to pick a side. I know sometimes you don't want to say you love Jesus. I know sometimes you don't want to say, what you really stand for because someone's going to make fun of you or someone's going to laugh at you. But I know that you're strong enough to do that, Todd. And it's going to get harder the older you get. I know you're only 16 right now, and I'm talking to you, and your family doesn't really understand God, but I'm going to bring you through this. I'm going to bring you a beautiful bride. I'm going to bring you children and family. I'm going to wire you differently. But stay faithful. Pick a side. David said, cast your burdens upon the Lord, and he shall sustain thee. But remember this, Todd, that God shall never suffer the righteousness to be moved, meaning that, Todd, you stay clear, you pick a side, you pick me, and I am not going to make you move. I'm not going to make the people around you move. I am not going to make any of it move. I am going to stay who I am. I am going to lift you up. I am going to bless you. I am going to serve you because you're serving me. I am your God, Abba, Father. Look to me for these things. You see, Todd, because people are going to make fun of you out there. They're going to be people like Bill Maher out there that thinks it's funny, thinks that's his calling to make people laugh about Jesus Christ and the sacrifice that he's made for this world. I know that video came to me this morning. I was looking for something else that I was reading last night with my wife, and I couldn't find it. And I'm like, man, God, I built my show around this idea. And so then I Googled Bill Maher and Mike Johnson, and this is the video that pops up, and my stomach started to hurt. My heart was pounding. I wanted to fight so bad. The indignation of this man sitting there chastising my beliefs and my family and my children. And we don't do that. Christians don't do that about other people. We don't go out there and take on their children. We don't take on their beliefs. We don't make fun of their beliefs. We are called to understand. And Christ came here for everybody. Even Islam, even the Gentiles, came here for everybody, even the ones that are slicing people up over there in Israel. God came for them. He wants them to turn. He wants them to repent. He wants them to come to him. He's an upside down leader, right? He is about love. He is about sharing. We are not these people. And I can't sit here and take it any longer. And either can you, because that's what I'm asking you. That's what God said. If you pick my side, I shall never suffer the righteousness to be moved. He will support your righteousness in his side. He is there for us. Hebrews 13:5 says the same thing. I will never leave you nor forsake you, for then what can a mere mortal man do to you, right? And so I want you to understand this morning is not just a normal show. This show is a calling to you. This show is to say, hey, are you with a guy like Bill Maher who thinks a nail in Jesus Christ's hand is a funny cartoon? Right? Or are you with a guy like Bill Maher who thinks Mike Johnson is a joke because he says he's based his life on the entire Bible and he believes the brevity of it? Are you with a guy like Mike Maher that akins the office to Cinderella? Are you with a guy? I mean, listen, come on now. That's not the side I'm on. I know some Democrats that are really great people, liberals or whatever you want to call them. That side, right? And I'm sure they would be laughing at that. I know some that are Christians, and I don't think it's funny. I know some that are not. I mean, I'm just telling you, man, Jesus Christ is not a joke. He's our Savior. He's the only thing that can help us. He's the only thing that can separate us. He's the only thing that makes us wired differently. He's the only thing that makes us misfits. As it comes to your business, you have to be willing to separate as well. You can't hide behind the fact that you believe in Jesus, but don't ever live by the principles, and you don't operate your organization through those processes of even the 10 commandments. Find one fault in one commandment. I dare you. I love my family. I love you guys. I love this idea that we have free will. I love this idea that God actually loves Bill Maher. I don't know how he does it. But he does. He loves Joe Biden. He loves Chuck Schumer. He loves Nancy Pelosi. He even loves the Palestinians. He loves the Islam, the Houthis, and the Hamas, and the whatever their other ones are over there. He's even called us to love him, as ridiculous as that sounds. I'm trying, God. I'm not doing very well at it. But I do love you. And I'm picking you. I pick you. I love you. I love my family. I love everyone who is fighting the good fight out there, and I want you to keep it up because you are wired differently. We need to take this thing home. It's a serious topic, but I know you can pick the right damn side. I know that you got it into you. I know that persecution is not your middle name. I know that you can stand up to the other side. I know you can pick a lane. I know that your market dominating position is Jesus Christ. I know you're going to do this with me. I know we're going to have a blast at the Tiki Hut. I know I wrote about it. Pick up a book and read about it. Let's get it on like Donkey Kong. Let's let it rip, potato chip. We are on our way. See you Friday with my good friend, Roman Gabriel.